Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the card book crafter, and I'm coming on today with a twisted card. I'm calling it a twisted card because that's exactly what it does. It's not an original idea. My daughter came to me with well, she sent me a TikTok video, and it was a crafting video. Who knew? TikTok crafting. Um, but she showed me this video and said, could you make that card? And I was like, I can have a go. So I've sat, and it has taken me days to work this out, because the original video showed how to make it, but there was no measurements or anything like that, not even the size of the original sheet of card. So yeah, let me show you how it works instead of twittering on. So you've got a belly band that holds it all together, and then you twist the card to open it, and you twist it to close it. Isn't that brilliant? So you open it up like that, and you've got a little pocket in there. So, oops, that's my scoreboard dropped. So this would be brilliant as a journal page, or in a journal or something like that, because then you've got little tags inside. And although this is my first go, so I haven't, but I'm going to put some white card on the back that says things like happy birthday on there, so it's a proper greeting. And then all you do is you pop your tags back inside, one at each end like that. Let's pop that in. And then the middle one, you sort of fold it over, and the middle one goes in between. So in between those, like that, in there, and that holds it secure. And you twist it, and it all comes together again, and you pop the belly band on. Isn't that great? I really enjoyed this. It was tough trying to work it out, but I did. So let's pop that to one side, and I'll show you how to make it. So you start off with a square of card. I'm using A4 card, so because it's A4, I've had to go with an 8 by 8. So let's turn this round to the inches side, that might help. So this is an 8 by 8 piece of card, and you're going to score at 1/4 inch. Let's get the 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch, 2 3/4. Yeah, 2 3/4, 5 1/4, and again at 7 3/4, like that. And you know me, I'm going to flip it over and score again. So 1/4 inch, 2 3/4, 5 1/4, and 7 3/4. Then turn it. So now my score lines are going across like that, and score again at 4 inches just on the side like that to create this sort of pocket look. So I can pop that away now, and I always fold it to make sure that that is a true 4 inch, because you really need it to be a true 4 inch for this fold, because sometimes when you score it can be slightly off, can't it? So I folded it in half, and then I'm going to fold along these crease lines, part of it because it helps me in a minute when I do the next phase, but also hopefully it'll help you a bit to see where I'm at. And last one is that little one there, like that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some, I've got a little notebook here, so I'm just going to pop it on the notebook, and I'm going to grab a ball tool and a ruler. And what I want to do is draw a diagonal line from this corner here. So there's my first score line. So right at the top of this score line, I need a diagonal line that goes from there through where those two meet and comes to the bottom of this line, this score here. So there's my 1, 2, third score line along. So I'm aiming to go from the top of my first score line to the bottom of my third score line, and hopefully going through that middle there where those two lines meet. So I'm just going to line it up. So there's that end, there's my bottom end, and of course when I twist it, it all messes up, doesn't it? Pop that back, and it goes right through those two lines, so I'm happy. So I'm just going to score a few times, not leaning too heavy but firmly on that. So I've got a score line going all the way through like that. And the next thing I want to do is come across one and do exactly the same. So I've got one second score line, so the top of my second score line to the bottom of my last score line here. So this is my other 1/4 of an inch here. So I'm going to pop my ball tool there and line up all across there. So there's the top of that one, through where those two score lines meet, and at the bottom there. And then using my ball tool, go all the way through, and again up and down a few times firmly, just to reinforce that score. And doing it on something like a pad of paper just helps you to have a bit of cushioning there, so it just helps. So once you've done that, fold on those lines as well, because this will help with the next bit. So fold them over, and I just crease those very easily like that. Okay, and that's the last of our scoring. So what you're going to do now is get out your scissors. Okay, and you'll notice, I don't know whether you're going to see on this one, you'll notice that you've got a full rectangle here and a full rectangle here, and then these are two triangles here, two triangles here, and again here. What you want to do is you want to cut off part of this, but you want to cut off the bit that is next to the full rectangle. So let me use this. So I'm going to come in at a slight angle and remove that bit, because we're creating our tabs here for gluing in a moment. So get rid of that. So that's, I've got two triangles there, that's where my diagonal is. This one is a full rectangle, so I've removed that from there. I'm going to come across to this side. Again, this is a full rectangle, so I'm going to do the same on this side. Come in at a slight angle and follow that. You want to get rid of the score line, so cut to get rid of the score line. Let me just, that's a little bit bumpy. There we go, that's better. That's some rubbish. So now you've got that. So again, you've got the triangle here, and then you've got your what's going to be your tab here. You want to then come in on both corners there and just get rid of that corner. Take some bulk out of it, so that you've got that now on there, and the same on this tag over here. So as you can see, it's squared off. You want to get rid of that, so just cut at an angle to that and get rid of that. And now all you need to do is fold these in. Let's use my school tool, both sides, and we're going to glue them down. So grabbing my wet glue, and if you've got liner tape that will work, then use that. You could use any square, but your measurements, you're going to have to check your measurements to do this. Any square, and of course the bigger the square, the bigger the card. The one I did, where did I just pop that? The one I did earlier was a small piece of a small square of copy paper, and it made a sort of 3x3 size. There it is, I can just see it now. So so you can, as long as it's square, you can do this, but you need to be able to divide by 3 and still have a little bit on each end for these tabs. So fold that over like that. Now hold on, I need to just double check on something before I go any further. Yeah, that's right. Double check. It's not a problem if you haven't already done them, but for quickness, I've already done my the decorations for this. Okay, so once you get to that, you're then just going to double check that you can twist. And at this point, it's not really going to. So your scores, the diagonal scores need to go in, and your horizontal scores need to go out. So just twist it and it will start to come together on both sides. So there we go, starting to come together. And last one, twist, and there we go. There you have your twisted card. So just reinforcing all of those scores just to make sure that those diagonal ones stay on the inside, so that we've got our card. So then open it out. So there's the inside of our twisted card. Open it out, and now we can decorate. So I've already gone ahead and done lots of the decorating bits and bobs. So these are my tags to go inside, so I'll leave them to one side. I've got 2 pieces. Now I've layered some pattern paper, and the pattern paper comes from this creative paper pad. You'll need 3 sheets. So luckily enough, I've got 2 packs of it, so I was able to get 3 sheets out of it. So you'll need 3 sheets and cut. So your gold is 2 pieces of 3 7/8 by, no, sorry, 3 7/8 by 2 1/4. So 2 pieces in the gold, and then the patterned paper for this is 3 3/4 by 2 1/8 across. Of course, if you don't want to layer it on gold like I have, you don't have to. You can very easily just go straight to the pattern on this, but because the paper has got gold in it, absolutely stunning paper, it's got gold in it, I thought it really lended itself to be layered onto some gold. But if you want to go straight to the pattern, then just go ahead and go straight to the pattern. So there's that one, like that, and then flip it over, and then you've got your other full rectangle there, and this is where this second one goes. So, and I will put all of these measurements down in the description box for you, so you've got them all. You don't have to go like I did and try and work them all out. So that one goes on this end like that, and as always, I do use my bone folder to push all the glue into the card like that, help it to stick. But you know, use whatever glue you are happiest with. Now you want to make some rectangles like this, and they are going to go on here like that. Now to make them, you will need 2 pieces of card, which I've put somewhere on my desk in handy. I thought I'd put them there. I've moved them. I have moved them. Goodness, don't know where I've put them. But you will need 2 pieces of card. So The gold piece is so you'll need 4 at 3 3/4 by 2 1/4, and then you'll cut it in half. And I'm still busily looking for those 2 that I had left. Is that them? Gosh, I had put them there. Completely astonished to where they've gone. Aha, found them. So you'll need a piece of gold that is 3 3/4 by 2 1/4, and a piece of patterned paper. Is this the right patterned paper? Let me just double check. Looks like it. A piece of patterned paper that measures 3.5 by 2 inches. And let me show you how you're going to do it. You're going to get your trimmer or guillotine or whatever you use. If I turn it sideways, hopefully you can see. And you're going to line up 2 of the points. Now in this case I have to go from that point to this point. So do check on your folded card which way round to cut, because if you had your square, your rectangle, and you'd cut that way, it might not fit. So just double check that on your main card. So let me just, I'm going to double check. So you're going to line up this point and this point. Okay, so pop it in, line them both up on your cutting edge there, and just cut. Double check that you're in the right place, and you get your triangle like that. Do exactly the same with your patterned paper. Slide that in, so it's this point and this point I need to line up. There's the edge of my trimmer, so there's one point on that edge, the other point on this edge, and cut. And you end up with your pieces like that. Let me pop that to one side and just glue that down. So let me just do this first, so these are drying, and then I can show you how I glued the other ones on. So like I say, on the original video by Srushti Patel, she didn't decorate all of the triangles. I do, but if you don't want to, then you'll only need 2 pieces of the gold and 2 pieces of the patterned paper. And if you're only doing one side like Sushi did, then you only need 1 piece of patterned paper and gold. So there we go, get that on there. So that gives it a few minutes to dry before I need it. Let's slide that up a bit. There we go. And the reason this is different sizes is because if I'd done it the same size as these edges, then it would have been slightly, they wouldn't have matched as well. So then the next thing you're going to do is get your, now I'm just going to be a bit pedantic here. I want them to match. So theirs was those 3, there was those 3. So those 2, yeah, those 2 match. So I'm going to pop them on there. It's just, you probably wouldn't even notice, but I just wanted to make sure that they matched up on here. So you're going to glue these all in place. Now on her video, she'd only done one side of the card. These have bent a little bit, so I'm going to have to hold them for a minute longer. She'd only done one side of the card. I'm doing both sides. And she'd also only put those ones on. She hadn't done these ones here, but I am, just because I think they just, it looks, you know, a bit more opulent, a bit more rich with all of them done. So glue that down and pop that one on there. And again, because I've left these to dry, the gold has bent up a little bit, so I'm just going to take a minute to push the glue into the card like that. So what we've got now is when I fold that, I haven't now got the resistance of folding 3 layers of card, because I've got that gap between these 2 pieces here. So there's my next one. So those are going to go on there. Let me just see if I can bend that straight a little bit. Yeah, these go on there. So yeah, so she'd only done one side, and she'd only done those top triangles. So entirely up to you. If you want to save on your card and on your time, then, you know, decorate how you want to. I'm just showing you and giving you the measurements. Entirely up to you then what you want to do with it. So I'm just double checking that that's the right one to go on there. So there we go. Let's put some glue on there, making sure you get those corners as well, those pointed corners, and glue it onto there like that. Now I'm going to flip that over and just use my bone folder to do that whole lot like that, and then these are going to do the same. So those 2 go together. I can see the pattern going through there, so I'm going to pop them in the middle like that, and there we go. And last, oh no, I've still got 2 more, haven't I? I've got the other 2 that I've just cut. So just make sure that you are staying away. So there's my score line there. So I want to make sure that this doesn't go over the score line, because I don't want it to impede the mechanism when I'm folding it. So last one, all the way up like that. Oh, not quite the last one, is it? And I've used non-directional patterned paper because I just thought it was going to be a lot easier. Because otherwise you've got all the problems of having to make sure that you're laying it down the right way, and it would be a faff. But of course you can do it if you want to. So these two are the ones I've just done, and these are nice and flat as well, which helps, because I prepared this last night. Once I'd got all my measurements sorted, I prepared it and left it until today to record it. So they've just, because they haven't been glued down yet, they've just bent up a little bit. It's the mirror card. It's nothing to do with anything else. It's the mirror card that unfortunately bends a little bit if it gets a wet glue on it. And I'd much rather use a wet glue, especially on something like this. So there you go. So I'll flip it over and rub them all together as well. So while that's drying, you will also need 2 pieces for your tags, and I've only done 2. Don't know why, I should have done 3, but you need 3 pieces of red card, or whatever your base card is. You need 3 pieces that are 2 3/8 by 3 3/4, and to go on that you'll need patterned paper, which is 3 5/8 by 2 1/4, and the same measurements for your white paper, 3 5/8 by 2 1/4, and just put them together, and those then will go into your card. So I'll pop these 2 at the end, one there and one in there, and like I said, I've already put a greeting on there. That was already got happy birthday on, so that goes in there. If I had my other one, then that goes in the middle, but twist it first like I showed you on the first one. So again, just twist your card like that. It will all come together like that. And now you want to do your belly band. So your belly band, very simple, a piece of card the same as your base card, and this one measures 1.5 by 9.25 inches. Just pop it on like that. There's no scoring. I just found it much easier not to have to score. And twist it round like that. You do have a little bit of overlay there, so just be careful of that. Wrap it around like that, and I've given you plenty of wiggle room with the card. I'm just going to crease those edges a little bit, and before I glue anything down, I'm just going to make sure it will go over over those bits that stick out just ever so slightly. So I want to make sure I can get over that easily enough. So I'm going to glue it there. So I've got my glue, pop it a little bit on here, a little bit on here, and I'm just going to use my tape runner just to hold it down while it glues. I could use a tape, sorry, a peg or something, but actually it would be difficult to get a peg into there, so a little bit of tape runner just to hold it while the wet glue dries is fine. Let's pop that back in there like that. And then you need 2 pieces of patterned paper. Now I haven't mounted, no, that's not done. 2 pieces of patterned paper. Where have I put those now? Honestly, you'd think hadn't prepped at all. So, no, that's not it. Where have I put those now? Goodness. So, well, that's looks like one. That's not the other. Where have I put those? Anyway, you'll need... sorry about that. Where have I put them? That's not them. No, they're too wide. So you'll need 2 pieces of patterned paper, which I have somewhere on my desk in front of me that I cannot see anywhere. And these 2 pieces, no, that's not it. Those are definitely not it. Is this? Yes, that's them. These are all my scraps. I knew I should have put my scraps away. So you'll need 2 pieces of patterned paper. Now these measure 1.25 by 4 1/8. Now feel free to do a piece that's 1.25 by 9 inches and do the whole of it, but I just thought it looked slightly better with the paper in 2 pieces like this. So that just has a bit of glue on it and goes one at the front like that, and mix it up if you want, use different papers, whatever. One at the front, one at the back like that. And this then covers over that join as well at the back of your card. And actually this card really hasn't got a front and a back, if I'm totally honest, unless you count where this is joined up. Let me just get that straight. Yeah, unless you count where that join is, there isn't really a front or a back to the card because we've decorated the whole lot. And then all you do is slide your belly band off like that, and you twist it open like that. And then inside you've got your greetings or whatever you want to write on there. And yeah, so that's 2 I've made. I'm going to get something, a little greeting or something on there. I'm going to ask my daughter what to choose, which one she wants to go on there. But yeah, so that is a proper twisted card. And like I said, this would be fabulous in a journal, or in a an album or something. You could glue that onto a page and then slip that in and slip it out with your notes or your journaling on the inside of that pocket. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you and see what you come up with. Do give it a go. It was fun to make and much easier once I got the measurements all sorted out, and had to go much easier than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to leave all the measurements in the description box below. Do check them out and give it a go. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would drop me a comment, or even better, if you'd think about subscribing to my channel. I'd love to have you join me in my makes. Anyway, right, that's on almost. There we go. And I'll see you all in the next video. I'm going to have to think about what I'm going to do with all these scraps now, aren't I? See you soon. Take care. Bye for now.